Hold my hand, Lord. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Come on, help me sing. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone. While I want Jesus. Hold my hand, Lord. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. My friend, Lord, be my friend. Be my friend, Lord. Be my friend. I want Jesus. Hold my hand, Lord. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. I want Jesus to walk with me. Acts chapter 16. Acts chapter 16. Acts chapter 16. Beginning at verse 23. Read a few of those verses. Acts 16. Beginning about verse 23. And it reads, and when they had laid many stripes upon them, they cast them into the prison, charging the jailer to keep them safely, who having received such a charge, thrust them into the inner prison, and made their feet fast in stocks. And at midnight Paul and Silas prayed, and sang praises unto God. And the prisoners heard them. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken. And immediately all the doors were opened, and everyone's bands were loosed. Amen. If I would tag and title this lesson this morning, I would tag and title this lesson, Good Things About Midnight. Wow. Some good things about midnight. Amen. Some good things about midnight. Look at your neighbor and say, there are some good things about midnight. Now, if you believe that, I dare you to give God a great big hand of praise this morning. There are some good things about midnight. Yes, sir. All right. Jesus in the book of Acts is gone. He has ascended back to heaven and now sits at the right hand side of God. And I'm glad that Jesus set up this program for the church so that his work wouldn't end when he was gone. For the Bible said that he made a choice of 12 men. Some of them, these men that he called them to put down their doctor's bags. Others he called to lay down their nets. Some he called from tax collectors. And he told them simply, come and follow me. Amen. The Bible says he trained those 12 men. He left the church in their hands, and he told these 12 men to preach the gospel. Now, even though the book of Acts talks about Jesus, it also talks about the lives of these 12 men that he left to carry out the work after he had returned to heaven. That's why the book is called the book of Acts. Because it talks about how the apostles acted when Jesus had left them. All right. The book of Acts talks about how they walked. It talked about how they talked. It talked about how they lived. It's also commonly referred as the book of the Acts of the Apostles. It is in this book that we find the records of the persecution of the children of God that they had to endure, all because they chose to follow Christ. Let me say without the shadow of a doubt this morning that you haven't done much in the church unless you've been persecuted. Let me say that again. You have not done much in the church unless and until you've been persecuted. I'm a witness this morning that when you really try to give God your all, there will always be somebody who will do all that they can to persecute you. There's always going to be some folk around you who don't want to see you grow spiritually. There will always be some people around who will do all that they can to hinder God's program. But I've discovered over these last 25 years that these things have to happen. Look at somebody and say, they have to happen. They have to happen. They have to happen in order for us to understand and appreciate the work that Christ has called, captured, and commissioned us to be in. Amen. And so our text this morning, Crystal, is centered around the word midnight. Somebody say with me, midnight. Midnight. Midnight is not one word, but it's a combination of two words, mid and night. Now, if we analyze each piece of this word midnight, we will find that the first part of the word midnight is mid. Somebody say mid. Mid. Now, the word mid is a short way of saying in the middle. Somebody say in the middle. In the middle. Now, according to the dictionary, it is that which lies in the center of things. Not too far to the left, not too far to the right, but right somewhere in the middle. Well, now the dictionary defines the word night as a period of darkness. Somebody say it would be darkness. A period when darkness covers the land. A time when it's hard for us to see things that are around us, things that are going around to us, things that are happening beyond us. Now, if you put the word mid and night together, with mid meaning the middle and night meaning a period of darkness, it simply means in the center of darkness. Somebody say with me, in the center of darkness. Now, midnight is a peculiar time. It's a peculiar time. Mothers begin to worry about where their children are when they missed out and stayed up past midnight. A lot of pacing on the floor begins to happen in the wee hours of the night. Not only with that, but when husbands and wives have a whole lot of explaining to do when they go out and mess up and stay past midnight. Somebody say, I know that's right. It's a peculiar time. It's a peculiar time. And I wish I had a little help here. Midnight is the point where PM ends and AM begins. Now, midnight is a dividing wall between PM and AM. That used to be a time in my boyhood when I was growing up when it was a disgrace for a respectable person to be caught out past midnight. Amen. Okay, I guess I got all that generation is gone, huh? Well, we have some who are struggling today who will not get home but at midnight, but are trying to just get ready to leave out for the midnight hour. Midnight is an awesome time. Well, just like there are some midnights in worldly living, just as there are some midnights in time, the life of the Christian has a whole lot of midnights. Let me just stop for a moment and say the darkest hours of the life of a child of God is their midnights. And listen, all of us have some midnights. Look at the neighbor and say, we all got some. My brothers and sisters, life has a way of making us acquainted, even if we don't bargain for it. It has a way of making us acquainted with many forms of midnight. Amen. Midnight is simply trouble in the life of someone. Midnights can come in many shapes, they can come in many forms and many fashions. Well, what are some of the types of midnights? I'm glad you asked this morning, fellowship. One example of midnight is when you walk out of the doctor's office and you hear him tell you, I've done all that I can do. Amen. And it goes in your mind, you begin to wonder, why me, Lord? Can I tell you what that becomes in your life? That becomes a midnight hour. Yeah. Midnight becomes when you stand by the graveside of a loved one and watch the dearest person that you love so much lowered in the grave. That's midnight. Not only that, but when you've done your best in service to serve the Lord, when you've given your best in the Lord's program, when you've sacrificed and when you didn't feel like going and did when you didn't have to do, and people talk about you, that's... Y'all gonna help me just look at you this morning. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. When you go home so hurt, and you say that you're not going back no more. You're so hurt, you're so hungry that you can't eat. You're so thirsty, but you don't want anything to drink. You're so weak, but you don't want to lay down. You don't feel like standing up, but you don't know what to do. That becomes midnight. And everybody, under the sound of my voice, whether you believe it or not, everybody sooner or later will experience a midnight. If you've never experienced a midnight, just keep on living. Yeah. And a midnight is coming. Look at somebody and say, just keep on living. There may be somebody that said today under the sound of my voice who never experienced any trouble. And I don't know what it means to suffer. And I don't know what it is to have pain in my life. Well, I suggest to you to live a couple more days. And trouble has a way of finding you. You don't have to look for trouble. Trouble will find you. Somebody tell you this morning and say, it sure will find you. Now, midnights are terrible things. They're terrible things. But you know one thing I've learned? I've learned that midnights are not always bad. Well, amen. There are some good things about midnight. Look at your neighbor and say, there are some good things about midnight. There are some good things about midnight. That there are some good things about having midnight experiences. Yeah. That there are some good things about having some things happen to you that would not normally happen, because what midnights do is midnights draw us or drive us or bring us closer to God than we should have been in the beginning. Look at somebody saying, I know that's right. Midnights have a way, my brothers and sisters, and can make us better. You see, one thing about midnight is that if you've never prayed before, Juanita, midnight will cause you to pray. Oh yeah, midnights have a way of bringing us to their knees and having us call on the Lord and say, Father, I pray. My hands are going to help. I know if I draw myself to me, where shall I go? And when you see a child of God on their knees, they're at their best. I heard a songwriter say some years ago, it's hard to stumble when you're on your knees. And all the fellowship this morning, midnight will make you realize how little you really are and how big God really is. You know, a whole lot of folks think that they everything. They feel that they got every bit of sense in the world and they got all the know-how in the world. And sometimes you really don't know how much a person don't know until they open their mouth. But when you find yourself in a situation where good sense can't get you out of. And when you find yourself in a situation where money cannot buy you out of it, when you find yourself in a situation where lawyers and politicians and what your name is and who you may know may not get you out of, you will find yourself on your knees calling on the name of God. Here's what I learned about God. When you call on God, He will not only hear your prayer. I wish I had one or two people in this place this morning that knows He will not only hear your prayer. I wish I had one or two people in this place this morning who knew that He will not only hear your prayer, but God will answer your prayer. But this is how you know God will answer your prayer. If you know He'll answer your prayer, somebody's telling you this morning, He'll answer my prayer. Midnights make us know that we still need God. Midnight sometimes help us and make us understand that these material things that we have that we cry so much over are not permanent and don't mean that much. That's how some folks get so wrapped up in your house and the things that you've got. You know what I'm talking about, your cars, your house, your clothes, your ability, your bank account. But I want to suggest to you, if they're all gone and God is still here, you got more than enough. Oh yeah, I've said so many times to people that God does not do anything else to me. If He doesn't bless me another day, if He doesn't give me another dime, if He doesn't open another door, He's already done it. Oh man, I did good. I know that's right. So in the text this morning, they had just left Macedonia and they were led by the Spirit of God to go and preach the Word of God to Philippi. And then it got dark, and Paul and Silas, coach, had made their way to the temple. And when they got to the temple, they bowed down and they thanked God like we do when we come to church. They thank God for helping them make this journey. Can I tell you something this morning? When you get to your destination, wherever your destination is, you ought to stop and thank God that you made it. I don't care when you leave the house going to the store, you ought to stop and thank God that you made it. When you leave the house and you go to your school, you ought to stop and thank God that you made it. When you leave the house and you get to your job, you ought to thank God that you made it. Look at somebody and say, you ought to thank God that you made it. So when they got to their destination, the Bible said they bowed down on their knees and they told God, Lord, thank you for helping me make my journey. Well, it's just good to let God know every now and then that you appreciate all that He's done. But when you get out to believe this morning that there's somebody who heard this morning who's not yet told God thank you, maybe it's one or two of you, you've been too busy, you got too caught up in your breakfast, you got too caught up in your problems this morning, you got too caught up in the people that were around you that you did not tell God thank you. Can we just stop a moment and just tell God, Lord, thank you? Tells us that when they had just finished praying, that they had left out the temple, and early the next morning they went into the streets, into the corners, and they preached Christ, and they preached Christ crucified. They told the people that the wages of sin is death, but that the gift of God is eternal life. But the Bible said a large crowd began to gather around them to hear what Paul and Silas had to say. But listen, fellowship, everybody in large crowds are not always there for the right reason. Some folk come to church just to look to find fault in others. Come on, somebody. Some folk come to church just to criticize. And it's a shame because there are some folk who come to church really to worship and praise God. There are some folk who can't praise God. God worried about why you've been praising Him. And I don't know about anybody else, but I've got a reason to praise God. See, you don't know like I know what God has done to me. You don't know like I know what God has brought me through. You don't know like I know the hell that I went through last year. You didn't have to go. She did my favor. But God, you can somebody say, but God. Somebody said the Paul and Silas were preaching. You know who I'm talking about? The Pharisees showing up. got to get out of town. And I want to tell you that whenever you try to do the will of God, there are some folk who want to have you out of town. What are you saying? What are you saying? They want to pull the cover off of what you're doing. They say you got to get out of town because you're showing us up. The Bible said Paul and Silas listened to what they had to say. And the president isn't ashamed that when the preacher is preaching and he begins to step on toes, instead of somebody saying out, they want to criticize the preacher. You know what I'm talking about? Folks will say he's picking on me. But There's something else that happened there. The jailers began to become afraid. And said to Paul, do us no harm. Do us no harm. Paul said, listen, we're not here to harm you. But that same word that we preached on the outside is good for the inside. You can be saved even right now. Can I tell you something? Your pain can be somebody else's salvation. Look at somebody say, I know that. Some good things about midnight. Look at somebody and say, some good things about midnight. Here's what I want to tell you that I'm done. God still works in the midnight hour. Y'all didn't hear what I said. God still works. I don't care what you're going through, what you've been through. God still works. Would you help me just touch somebody around and say, he still works. He still works. He still works. He still works. Think he still works? Oh yeah. Yeah, he still works. Some good things about midnight. When midnights come in your life, not if, but when, they're guaranteed to come. How do you know it? Job told us, man that's born of a woman is over a few days, and those few days will be full of trouble. He reminded us in his word, all throughout the word, that's been peppered in the word of God. Situations and circumstances where trouble will come. But watch this, your trouble is not unknown to God. He knows all about it. And here's the wonderful thing about God in your troubles. God has already provided provision in your troubles. Watch this. He may not deliver you from your troubles, but what he will do is give you strength to make it in your troubles. He will give you a different viewpoint than you had going in. Somebody's going through something right now. You're wondering where God is at. Has God abandoned you? Has God left you? And I want to suggest to you this morning that God has not left you, nor has God abandoned you. The reason why you're still here and able to make it through is because God has been holding your hand and carrying you when you couldn't make it yourself. Look at them, I say, that's good news. That really is good news. So we extend the privilege of discipleship to somebody in this place this morning who, under the sound of my voice, maybe you're unsaved. Maybe you've backslid, you've strayed away from God. Listen, we extend to you the privilege of discipleship, whoever you are, wherever you are. If you're unsaved or in church, maybe you need a church home. We extend to you the privilege of discipleship. The doors of my Father's house are open. Won't you come this morning by letter? Candidate for baptism or by Christian experience while the blood is still running warm in your veins. Won't you come, whoever you are? Won't you come? Won't you come by letter?